Holy fuck, it's the Roboff. Park City, baby. Bobby Gucci, Jay Swish. What's shaking, fella? Your chin is literally right across the other side of this door right now, connecting rooms. So if you were to whack, I mean, these things are paper thin in this Park City hotel. So what's shaking, baby? I can't believe you got the robe on too. It's hilarious.
Yeah, we didn't plan this at all. I cammed up and you had the robe on. I go, ha, two guys wearing robes. Yeah, man, the walls are like paper thin, but it's gonna be pretty tough to whack at Utah. And if you're gonna, it might be, there might be they like it in the back door. I don't know if it's gonna happen. It's kind of weird up here. It's a little bit eerie. The chicks, there is a divorced energy up here, but it's a different kind of city. But yeah, hypothetically, if you were whacking a chick, in the back porch, it would be very easy to hear what's going on.
Yeah, I think even if like one other guy was watching porn too loud on the other side of this door, you could hear everything. I was trying to take a nap a little bit earlier, Bob, because obviously we were off the tarmac of Phoenix Sky Harbor today at I think we went off at 7? So we were at the airport just after 5 a.m. But yeah, every time I've been to Utah, which is only about 3 times and twice in my adulthood, it does have a little bit of a different energy. You land in Salt Lake City, and like I was telling my sister last time we were here for opening night, it kind of feels like, politely saying, you're kind of behind enemy lines a little bit.
Yeah, I was actually on the treadmill in the gym. It's not a big deal. Yeah, Hockey Night in Scottsdale, we do work out on the road. That's how we keep it tight. And I turned on the TV and the news was there. And the first thing it said a polygamist got arrested for some cult bullshit. So it's definitely it's definitely a little weird when you know that those religious cults are up here, and that's no disrespect to religion, but it's a little creepy. And yeah, sometimes I thought that Utah cults were just something that Netflix guys made up for documentaries. Yeah. But no, it's definitely real. But there's some normal people here, some nice coffee shops, but yeah, it's definitely different.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Park City right now, like, that's hilarious. There's no snow on the ground. And the whole reason why we came here, Rob, is to shoot some content, one of our vlogs that's going to feature a day on the hill with the boys over here at Hockey Night Scottsdale. So, we got our camera guy dialed in. Shout out to Greg. Obviously, we have our editor. Shout out to Sammy Furta. But we were talking to people in and around Park City, and there's like 2 or 3 runs open right now. So I don't even know what we're gonna do. Probably just gonna have to play those runs back 3 or 4 times. Maybe get drunk at the top. Maybe stop for a long lunch in terms of a liquid lunch, a matinee. But we'll make the best of it, brother. I think anytime you're in a ski town, no matter what it is, there's always a good energy. There's a good vibe. So I'm actually fired up to get on the hill, regardless of what we're gonna do up there.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about the different runs, really, as long as there's one. I just don't want to be snowboarding on grass. Maybe hit a jump. I'm still back and forth on whether I'm going to do the terrain park since I got so hurt in our Halloween video. But yeah, I'm excited to get out there. And I think we might be the first quote-unquote hockey podcast, even though we talk about pussy the whole time, to do a snowboarding and ski video. I don't know if that's ever been done before. So we're going to be mic'd up. It's going to be good. And yeah, today just is all about getting rest and getting ready. People forget how big of a workout snowboarding and skiing is. It's crazy.
Yeah, how was your game up there, by the way? And just kind of, shine some light on that. Obviously, I think the last time you were on the hill, it was probably Drunken High in Whistler 2 or 3 years ago. But what's your game like? Give the little intel to the people out there, like all the good people at Hockey Night Scott. So what's Bobby Gucci's game on the board like? Because you do snowboard, my friend.
Yeah, well, I grew up skateboarding, a little bit of surfing. So I have that motion going where I know how to manage it. And you know what, Swish? I'm going to keep it a surprise. I think a lot of people just think I'm full-blown retarded and I can't really do any action sports or real sports. And, the sandbagger came out and everyone's like, oh, your golf swing sucks. This guy, he's not an athlete. He's a pussy. People started making fun of my mom. I don't know what that had to do with anything. But I think the people are going to be pleasantly surprised. The more athletics that we do in our videos, they're going to see I can fucking hold my own and I will stand on business when it comes to that. What about you? I know you know how to ski. You knew what you were talking about in the ski shop. Now, I felt a little out of place in the ski shop because when you go in there, they're asking you your specs. What do you want to do? How many kills do you have? That's your joke. But you knew your specs, what skis you like. So what about you?
Yeah, they're asking you your body count, what size you like, your boots. My only worry, Bob, is when I get on that hill, and obviously, you have to know a little bit about what a good boot is. Now, they do offer boots these days with the heater on them. This ski rental place did not have those. So that's a little bit of a Chelsea dagger, if you will. But yeah, man, I think I'm decent. I'm not like a guy that's going to be ripping up the back bowl in terms of fresh powder, dropping into an avalanche or going through the trees because listen, I don't need to get another concussion and I don't need to break a leg or a hip. So I'm pretty good on a Groom Blue. I can tear up a double black, but in terms of like getting off into the back country and trying to do like hero like moves or jumps or flips or anything like that, like I'm not, those days are behind me and I just like to keep it clean, keep it safe, and above all, keep it sexy. But yeah, man, like I said, it's drip or drown out there, right? Because I'm Montclair head to toe. And you, by the way, got a nice jacket today. And some goggles, fella. You're gonna be you're gonna be looking crispy up there.
Yeah, I was balling out at North Face. I'm actually really pumped about that because I saw Gervonta Davis, who's one of my favorite boxers, wearing North Face, and I was like, "Damn, North Face might be back." And this is no disrespect, but and this is not in a racist way, and I'm in Utah, so I can get away with saying this right now. When black dudes start wearing something like North Face, that's how you know it's back. That culture of like hip hop, they decide what's back. So I saw Gervonta Davis was rocking North Face at his press conference for his next fight. So I was definitely stoked to get a new North Face jacket, put it right on the credit card. I'll pay it in 6 months. But yeah, getting back to your ski shop thing, I just want to say, I didn't know what a groomer was. The guy's like, "What kind of board do you want?" Like, this is good for the groomers. And I was like, "What the hell is a groomer?" And I said, "No, Diddy, like not in the Jay-Z way." And they explained to me, it just means like an easier hill. I didn't know that. I go by green, blue square, double black diamond. I didn't know what a groomer was. So
yeah, blue, green, Epstein, Jay-Z. You weren't going to go full groomer in terms of, trying to mold a 15-year-old chick. But you go back to North Face, and I just wanted to comment on that because not only are you seeing it around pop culture way more, it's kind of like Abercrombie. The shift is coming back. It's cool again. BBL Kardashian is actually coming out with the collaboration with her company Skims, who actually sponsors the association. She's going to be doing a women's line for North Face. So that's going to have an influx of a lot of women bringing back North Face. And it's going to be really cool again. But you make a good point with just in terms of dudes, it seems like black guys are always cooler than white guys. So if you see that trend of what they're wearing, it's always sicker style. It's NBA, NFL. It's always cooler what hockey guys are wearing. So that's a great point in terms of you see something on a cool dude like that. You're like, wow, it's back. And I've made the same observation. North Face is juicy, man. Like it's that logo. It's timeless. Like it's butter. Yeah, it's very.
It
clean.
Really is clean. I was a little pissed off because I didn't want to come up here and spend money on a jacket just for our video because I have jackets, I just don't have snowboarding jackets. But when I bought that, when I put that fucking thing on outside the store on the sidewalk, like I felt like babes looking at me, like dudes started looking at me weird. Like I don't know. I think the gay population is kind of. I think a lot of the religious guys are gayer in general, which is fine. But I just noticed that dudes and chicks started looking at me more. I'm like, damn, this North Face jacket is nice.
Right, because it's not like what you think it is. Some people think North Face they associate it with like a Patagonia. Now, Patagonia is a little bit gayer. Patagonia is the guy eating granola bars, trail mix, drinking water versus having a couple cocktails. Patagonia is that guy that looks like he shot a 1970s couch. That's like a lot of flannels. It's a lot of guys that are going to wear hiking boots, even though they're not going hiking, Rob. Where North Face, it throws both ways and it fucks.
Yeah, chat's saying that my mic sucks. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's the cord. What about now?
Yeah, it was a little fuzzy there for a little bit, but
What about right now?
If you hold it still, it's fine.
It's so hard to hold it still like this, dude. Fuck.
Yeah, you're just got to grind, baby. Chat's buzzing though tonight. Good to see the people all out here. Their chins are buzzing.
What about now?
Yeah, it's good. Right now it's good for me. Yeah, on my end.
People are still bitching. God damn it.
How about that?
Go ahead.
No, you're gonna comment on North Face again? I was just gonna say that girl. We were sitting in the shitter today on that Delta bird at 7 a.m. And I can't believe I left my chin untucked and that flight attendant caught me. She said, "You reach, I'll teach." Because my chin was up and I was sleeping, Rob. And I was sitting there and you were obviously in the window. I was in the aisle and there was a gal in between us. And I wore one pretty good. It's not like I was like concussed, but it woke me up. And what do you do in that situation? Can you say anything to the flight attendant? I stared her down a little bit while she was making a tomato juice for someone sitting in 38C. But at the same time, that's kind of on me. If my chin is out in that aisle and she weighs over 260 pounds, I got to know that in the pre-scout. I have to check the game notes. Otherwise, I'm exposed.
Okay, so here's the thing. It sucks that okay, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. I can't really blame the flight attendant for elbowing you directly in the head, and I'm gonna
Right.
tell you why. The aisles for planes are getting skinnier and skinnier, and
Yes.
chicks' asses are getting bigger. Their titties are getting bigger. The frame of a chick these days, I mean, they are stacked, you know? It's like
Yep.
every girl looks like a Fabulous music video, you know, Fabulous? They'll
Yeah.
be in a boat with a chick that's just thick as hell. So it's hard for the flight attendants to get up and down the aisle without their donk just hitting you and honestly their rack hitting you. So I think and you got to think about it. If she has a fake set, her arms are technically out wider. So now it's even
Right.
harder to get down the aisle. So it sucks. It's definitely frustrating. That's why I don't take aisle seats. I just don't want to get hit by people over and over again. So I
Right.
kind of huddle up against the window. But yeah, it's can she be more aware? Yeah, but you know, when they're on those shifts, man, and they're up and they're probably just exhausted of getting out of the way, and they
Yeah.
just yeah, someone in the chat said, Gigi watched our Trouba video and she just didn't give a shit. But you got to have your chin tucked, man. I don't want to be, I know you know that, but you got kind
Yeah.
of got caught lacking at 7 in
Y-
the morning.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I was up and out with my chin, and she was built like a cigarette machine. I mean, she looked like the Kool-Aid man. She looked like one of those M&M figures where she has those short arms and just an absolute barrel that kind of wraps into her nukes. And I got
Mm,
caught sleeping, literally. And you know what? She let me know, if you're gonna stick your chin out here in my real estate, I'm entitled to my ground. It's kind of like a goalie, Rob, where they have that blue paint. That
mm.
is that's their sacred zone. And if you go into there and intrude, well, now you know what? It's kind of a fair game. I can whack you in the nuts. I can get you under the foreskin. I can, maybe give you a little whack on the back of the legs, or I can go at your chin. That's exactly what she did. So I thought, no penalty on the play. I just thought, we don't need to bring in Georgie Peros for a ruling or a hearing or anything like that. I don't think it's a fine. I think again, I got to have my head down and my chin tucked. Bottom line.
Yeah, it sucks to get hit like that early in the morning. But dude, the flight from here, from Arizona to Utah isn't bad. I asked
No.
you, I'm like, bro, how long is this flight? Like 2 hours, 2.5 hours? You're like, bro, it's an hour. I was like, that's it. Like I was reading about the shooter. The guy
Yeah.
that shot that CEO right in the head. And before you know it, we were up in the air and then we touched down. I wasn't even done reading the article yet. And I'm a little bit jealous of that kid, bro. He got 200,000 followers from shooting a CEO in the head. I had to grind almost 12 years to get 295,000 followers. This guy shoots someone in the head and he automatically gets that. Like, someone get this kid an agent, get him a prize picks deal. And I'm not sympathizing with the shooter. I think there's probably better ways to solve healthcare than shooting a guy directly in the head. Like the guy's got a family. I don't know. I don't want to get involved. It's above my pay grade, but I wouldn't be surprised. Guys tweet from jail now, so he's probably gonna have a prize picks code. He's probably
Yeah.
gonna be living large in a cell, man. But anyway, yeah, I read an article about him, and before you know it, we touched down, and yeah, man, we're here, and tomorrow we're gonna rip it up.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, he's going to probably have, I mean, there's probably agents in Hollywood calling him right now. Probably the same guy that represents Diddy looking for a deal, trying to get
For
him any
sure.
sort of deal. But I wanted to ask you, because I didn't really read a whole lot on it. I mean, I knew he went Bob Lee Swagger and kind of sniped that, the head of the United Healthcare or whatever it was. How far away was that shot? Now, was this Chef Curry range? Was it a mid range Sean Livingston like shot? How far was he away, or did he literally just walk up and blast this guy?
Oh no, he was close to him. Like I would say it was like a Kevin Durant like pull up like mid range jumper. Like you know
Yeah.
how Kevin Durant fakes like he's gonna drive the paint, but he's
Yep.
so lengthy he can take that step back. So I would say that in relation to basketball, I'd say the shooter shooting that guy was it was like a Kevin Durant mid range jumper as we have our Wi-Fi currently acting up right now. I wonder if that's the healthcare people trying
Yeah,
to
it's
come for
probably
our
the far
podcast
left.
taking
Yeah, they're
over.
probably hearing what we're talking about right now. Yeah, I was curious because they found the guy at a McDonald's. Now, was that sausage, egg, and cheese, or that McGriddle, or that hot cakes, or that hash brown? I know that hash brown's really good, but
Mm.
if you're that dude, Luigi, what are you doing? What can't you get that DoorDash under someone else's name? Like, why do you have to go into the McDonald's outside of where you're basically from? Are you that big of a lunatic? I mean, clearly you are, but at that point, are you just trying to get caught? Like, do you want to go to jail? Do you want all the followers? Do you want people to know who you are? And then you go to jail, though, dude, and then all of a sudden you turn into Brucey in The Longest Yard, and you're getting stuffed, like a Thanksgiving turkey.
Yeah, like, dude, prison just would not be fun. I just think, like, for a guy that hated, and I know this is a hockey podcast, but for
Right.
a guy that hated corporate America so much that he went out of his way to ruin his life and shoot a guy.
Pretty
Why are
nasty.
you going to McDonald's? Listen, dude, I fucking love the McGriddle. I love the blue Gatorade they have there.
Really good.
Dude, at McDonald's, they sprinkle a little bit of something in there. I don't know if it's heroin. I don't know if it's like some MDMA, but there's something about the blue Powerade at McDonald's
Yep.
that's great. But for a guy that hates corporate America so much, I'm surprised that he didn't go to like, you know, an organic farm stand or something, or
Right.
he's Italian. Go get an Italian sub from Quiznos, you know, something.
Like,
But
what are the chances he would have got recognized at an Arby's? You know what I mean? Like, there's other
yeah,
restaurants. Like, McDonald's is so America. Like, someone there is going to see you. Like, those guys, those workers at McDonald's, like, they watch the news. If you go to Arby's or you go to somewhere where there's more illegals working, like, statistically, like, you probably have a better chance of walking away with a $10 meal versus a stamp in jail. You know what I mean? Like, he probably didn't think that one through, just like how he shot a guy. He probably didn't think it through.
yeah, if you're gonna kill someone, you have to think it through. My problem too is like you said, illegal aliens will not snitch on you. So
No.
he should have just went to like a taco stand. He should have went to like LA and California, because you could basically kill someone in California and get out on bail. So I
Yep.
think it was just a rookie mistake, and you know, he'll learn from it. And the next time he tries to kill someone or kills somebody, he'll come back stronger and have a flight somewhere in, I don't know, somewhere off the coast of Africa, maybe. I think that's a
Yeah.
good place to go. There's a couple islands off of South America that I would go if I shot someone directly in the head, but I'm just not going to do that. Guns scare me too much. I just,
Like, you got to go somewhere where they have more to lose than you. And at McDonald's, they do a background check. Now, some of these places, like you mentioned in California, or if you just take off and you get in a 1972 Volkswagen van and just start driving, Rob, and you get to Galveston, Texas, or El Paso, now you can get over that border, right? Because Joe was still in charge. So you got like, less than a month to get out of the country. And you know what? Fella just wasn't thinking
yeah,
clearly.
dude,
Wasn't on his toes.
if I was a cop, there's no way I wouldn't walk into that McDonald's and be like, "Hey, did you just murder someone in New York City?" I'll be making so many puns. I'd be
Yeah.
like, you know, this guy, he came in here, he ordered a 10-piece chicken nugget, a large fry, and a Big McMac burger. I don't know. I'm fucking losing it here, but sorry, I'm getting distracted because you keep freezing.
Am I
But
freezing?
yeah, you're good now, Jeff Friesen. You're good now, but yeah, just weird situation. I think it's weird. I know we're a hockey podcast. We'll get to, speaking of shooting people in the head, kind of related to Trouba. We'll get into head contact in a little bit. I think that it's a little weird that people are celebrating the murder because the guy has a family, but also, like, if you're the CEO, you do have to keep your chin tucked because you are denying a lot of people healthcare and claims and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm not smart enough to kind of talk about this. But yeah, just a weird situation overall. But man, talk about a guy that's going to get a DraftKings or FanDuel deal in prison.
Yeah,
A lot of hours.
a Mick head removal, a Mick snizzy, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? That was, it comes with the free bowl of soup usually. But yeah, speaking of headshots, man, did you see that rubber, not a Trojan rubber, but that rubber of a puck that Tommy Wilson wore the other night in Montreal, Rob? It was actually a shot from Jacob Chicken Parm Chicken, the Liver King, and it hit him like right on the side of the cheek. It looked like he looked like after he came back, he looked like Terry Francona in the dugout with a whole thing of Red Man and bubblegum in there. And Tom Wilson was able to come back in that game. He ended up scoring. But just, did you see after the game, he did an interview with Sean McKenzie, Hockey Night in Canada. And obviously they brought him in because he scored and he had, the old Terry Francona lip. But if that would hit you, Rob, like, that was always what would piss me off so much in hockey. Like, I remember I got hit twice in the same week by my goalie, actually, that was ricocheting shots into my face and I was getting zipped up. I was like, dude, if you do this one more time to me, I'm going to fucking kill you. And Tom Wilson just seemed like he's like, no big deal. Like, hockey guys are just such nail guns.
Yeah, we kind of talk about how the league's a little softer now, but it's actually good to see somebody take a puck in the face and then get back. Not only that, bro, he scored 2 goals. Now,
I know.
I'm not the biggest fan of Tom Wilson. I don't know him, but it's strictly because he does his job. He agitates, he plays the heel, which I respect the hell out of. I don't know what he's like as a guy, so it's not like a personal thing, but growing up as a fan, I was like, man, this guy is so fucking annoying. But to come back and play like that, there is like very minimal players in the league that will come back something like that. I mean, dude, Jacob Chicken, I mean, we're talking about a guy who does not have a single processed food in his body. So, like, that puck's coming off that tape hard. It's hot and heavy, hit him right in the face. And yeah, man, that's a warrior hockey play that you love to see. It makes you remember why you love the game. The guys are just savages, some of them.
Yeah, that was a farm to table, non GMO, cage free shot that Tommy Wilson wore to the side of his cheek. And look, like I said, I'm beating a dead horse here, but he literally looked like Terry Francona in his prime with that Red Man Chew '04 both socks. Like, and he came back in the game and he just was able to tuck. I don't know. Like, obviously, you mentioned Wilson, the way he plays. I mean, he's a criminal on skates, but it's tough to argue in this day and age. You know what I mean? Like that guy probably had like 4 of those hot dogs in Montreal after the game. He probably banged them back. He probably put a chew in there because when you get hit in there, Rob, and there's a little cut, if you throw a little bit of chaw in there and a little nicotine, it actually hits your bloodstream quicker and you buzz harder. So that's what guys would always do. If you got a little cut in your mouth, always throw a chew in right there because you're going to buzz harder.
Yeah, bring back guys chewing. I remember that was so cool growing up, man. Like the coolest thing was to be addicted to chew. I remember when I was playing junior in Boston, the 2 criminal kids that moved into my billet house, they chewed and I didn't. I felt like such a pussy. I'm like, dude, I need to get addicted to something quick.
Yeah.
And I ended up, I did my first Jaeger bomb with those kids. So I like to thank them for derailing my entire career. I had it all mapped out. I was probably going to get, I'd say go undrafted, but make the league. And then I met these criminals that were addicted to chew. They were addicted to pills and Jägermeister, and they got me hooked on it. But yeah, man, I mean, having an addiction to chew is part of hockey. And I think it's really good for kids to get into it early. You want to start chewing early so you look like the cool kid. You have that swag. Everyone in the locker room looks up to you. So it's good. I mean, all this shit about how bad it is for you. I mean, what about the plus sides? They never want to tell you about the benefits.
Dude, I remember when I was 14 years old, because I went to Sioux City's camp. I was like a futures pick, and I saw all these guys in the locker room chewing. I was like, oh my God, this is so filth. And I didn't have one at the time because I didn't want to buzz going into some of those, they always used to have like the all-star game, Rob, you do like the couple games in the camp, and then it would be like the all-star game. So they'd pick 2 teams out of the 200 kids out of there. There was just a full-on money laundering scheme to make a bunch of money off of kids and parents that thought their kid had a chance, but you'd pay the $500, you get cut after one day, and then you'd be gone. And then they'd form this all-star game, and then everyone on those teams was usually the veterans and guys that were probably going to make the team, and then some of the younger players. I just remember every guy chewing in that all-star game. And I went back home to Verona, Wisconsin after my 8th grade year. I was going into freshman year. And obviously at that age, you can't buy any chew. But me and my buddies would go over to the local Citgo and we would steal the chew. We would distract the guy working behind the counter. And then they used to keep the chew off to the side. And we'd steal like Skull Mint, apple, not my proudest moment. But then we'd take that and we put the pouches or the long cut chon and we just go walk around until we couldn't even see straight. And then we just lay on our backs and look at the stars and just think, man, how sick is this? Talk to no chicks, but you're buzzing like a no vacancy sign. I just remember how cool that was, man.
Stealing chew isn't that bad though, because it's mostly coming from like the Indian reservation. And like, dude, they take so much of our money in roulette and blackjack. It's like, bro, I'm not Chris Columbus. Like, I'm sorry that Chris Columbus came over and like slaughtered all the people and like took over Maryland and Baltimore and installed like lacrosse fields and shit. But I didn't do that. I've paid my reparations. Do you have any idea how much I've lost in roulette, blackjack? I'll be playing baccarat with a bunch of Asian guys. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just playing banker, playing player. So like stealing chew obviously evens it out to me, in my opinion. It obviously evens it out. I don't think stealing chew or cigarettes is that bad. I've done my part, dude. I've lost a lot of money to casinos. So like, and I love Indian people. I think they're great, but I'm not Chris Columbus. I didn't come over on the Mayflower and do bad shit to you guys. So like, don't get mad at me because of it. Get mad at my racist grandpa, but he's already dead. So I already paid my dues.
Yeah, and I'm nice to you guys too. Like I'll share my cigarettes. I will donate to this reservation. I will spend all of my money
for sure
on the baccarat table, on the slots, and do my part in terms of getting way too drunk at your casino and donate. Even when I lose, I'm going to tip your dealers because I'm drunk and high as hell. And that's just what I do as a polite American. So yeah, I didn't think it was the worst thing. And the whole reason why we were stealing it is because we couldn't buy it, right? Like if I could buy it, no problem. But at the same time, I needed a buzz. And that's what I needed to do to get my buzz and my fixing at that time.
Your hands are tied. You're a kid. Your hands are tied. It's just like when I got arrested at Arizona State for giving beer to my 20-year-old friends when I was 21. I literally told the cops, I'm like, my hands are tied. Like we're trying to tie one on tonight and catch a buzz and go to the bars. Like you boys know how it is. And there's like, we gotta cite you, blah blah blah. I'm like, do what you got to do, fellas. But I'm still going out after this whole all these shenanigans are over.
100%. Rob, on 12/30, this is this month on December 30th. We're going to have our live show in Chicago at the Barn Hockey Bar. Now, tickets are still available, and you can get these tickets. It's now only standing room only. So, people in and around the Chicago area, if you're coming in for the Winter Classic, we are going off the box on the west side of Madison. That is right next to the old United Center, West Madison, Madhouse of Madison, right there at the Barn Hockey Bar. We do still have tickets, Rob. They are standing room, but we need to fill this place. We need to have the good people of Chicago buzzing. So if you're in and around the area, we do have the links. We've been tweeting them out. It's in your Insta bio. It's in my bio. We can't wait to get to Chicago. That's coming up. That's like in 20 odd days. And once we get on the other side of the 15th here of the month, it's just a full on bender. And then bam, we're going to be right in it. So I can't wait to get to Chicago, baby. Just want to throw that out there for all the good people listening.
Yeah, and people have driven like 3 hours to our shows, 5 hours to our shows. We had people fly into our shows, and the reviews have been pretty positive. This is like a rare thing. And like, I'm not trying to pump our own tires here, but us live is so much better than us on the pod, in my opinion. Like in the flesh, we can go a little offside because people aren't recording. Like the theatrics, it's honestly a different experience. I think people will be pleasantly surprised, like going to see us. And we're not sitting around like we are now at the live shows. I mean, we're up there like performing our balls off. Like we are letting it fly. So yeah, man. Tickets are available. I think there might be 1 or 2 tier 1 tickets left.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I haven't checked, but yeah, those tickets are out. I retweet it all the time because whenever you tweet, I have a bone to pick with Elon Musk. Whenever you tweet a link or something external from X, it like kind of shadow bans the tweet. So I keep having to retweet it. But yeah, man, I'm pumped for that show. We got that show coming up, and yeah. How the hell is it December 9th? Holy hell, man. Jesus Christ.
Well, you went on that sneaky 8-month bender. You woke up out of it, and now you've cleaned it up. And it's like, oh, my God, we're at Christmas already? What is going on? This is crazy. What is he doing back there? I never know what he's doing.
Yeah, dude died in a hang gliding accident. What an idiot.
What a freak.
What a freak. Chicks at funerals are so horny. Speaking of horny, dude, not that, I'm not saying that. I'll just say it. We're at that breakfast place today. Those 2 skunks kept looking at us. I was like, dude, what is going on? And like they were drinking mimosas, like they wanted to party Monday morning in Utah. Fuck.
Yeah, I thought you had the backside of a airplane seat on her chest. Those are absolute flotation devices, if you know what I mean. Oh my God, they were sitting there and they were boozing on a goddamn Monday. It was Mimosa Monday for them. I was thinking about tying one on, just looking at it because they kept looking over at us. I'm like, geez, is this could be a 2-on-2 no back checker? We have Monday practice right now. What's going on, baby?
Yeah, when chicks are drinking, it makes you want to drink a little bit. But we're here for business.
Yeah, we are here for business. And speaking of business, there was a little bit of business over the weekend. Jacob Trouba, Rob, for staying on a little bit of hockey talk or getting back to it. Jacob Trouba moved west, and I actually saw him driving across Arizona with that 8 Trouba car. I didn't know he drove a Subaru Outback, but when you're making 8x8, there's good ways to save your money. It looks like Jacob is doing that, putting everything into Bitcoin and stocks. But Jacob Trouba going over to Newport Beach from the chin of the Big Apple, MSG, the Mecca, leaving the world's most famous arena, and now, finds himself in a place where he can probably book his year-end bender. He can book the old Hilton Head trip. He can book the trip to Baker's Bay in terms of going there with his skunk at the end of the year. What do you think old Trouba Train's thinking right now as he's going to be teamed up with a guy like Gudis? I mean, you're looking at that blue line, and you're going into the Honda Center. There is no chin that is safe if you're playing against those guys and you're a forward, Rob. I mean, I wouldn't even want to play in that game. I think I would be faking the flu. I don't know. It just seems like those 2 guys, that's too many loose cannons on a back end, especially on a right side. If you're a left winger, look the fuck out.
Yeah, I said it on Twitter. If I have to play the Ducks when Trouba and Gudis are a pair, I don't know if they're going to be a pair, but I'm definitely wearing extra gitch. I'm wearing those things that quarterback wears. The flap jacket. I'm wearing a jacket that the quarterbacks wear around their ribs, even though those guys like to target the head. But I would definitely go to Yamaha or Kawasaki and just pick out a motorcycle helmet that I could wear, call my agent, try to get it cleared by the league, because those guys are going to be chin hunting. I think Trouba's probably stoked that's going to be a blue state and he's moving to a blue state now. But honestly, man, I think Gudis and Trouba are probably going to be a little bit rattled. Like there's not enough chins to go around. It's kind of like listen, Gudis, like, let me hit these guys in the head tonight. You hit 3 guys in the head last night against Seattle. I want my turn. It's almost like a situation where there's too many chefs in the kitchen. There's too many cooks in the kitchen. If I'm Gudis, I would be telling the coach, like, hey, I don't want to play with Trouba because I want to elbow guys directly in the head. And I think it might cause some animosity in the locker room. People don't talk about that. But if they're paired up together, yeah, I mean, I'm just going to get off the ice because I want to remember my kids' names. I want to remember how to satisfy my wife. I don't want to get hit in the head by those guys. So, yeah, I don't know. It's the Southern California is going to get a little bit more aggressive. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. You might be catching a full-on domestic, if you know what I mean. But can you wear that? You know how in the NFL and especially in the preseason, I haven't seen one, I don't think, in the regular season. But you know how you wear those like things on top of your bucket to like prevent concussion? Do they have those for hockey? And could you wear one specifically going into Anaheim if you were playing those guys? Do they make that kind of space bucket wrapper for hockey, or is that something that's not been developed yet?
I don't think it has, and if it has been, they need to make it so they can put the ads on the helmet because the NHL needs that revenue because they're so
Right.
broke. So I think the holdup there is they just need to find a way to put the ads on those Guardian caps. Shout out to the chat for giving us the name of those Guardian caps. But I like, how much does a Guardian cap really protect you from a conky? I mean, if Trouba's if Trouba gets off the bench and he's beelining it toward my head, what's a Guardian cap going to do at that point?
Yeah, it's going to do fuck all. That's your real question. I mean, you might as well go Crave McTavish and just play no bucket on into the early 2000s like he did because nothing's going to do. No 4,500, no Michael Pekka 8,500 space bucket, the Lego helmet I used to call it back in the day, the old Nike Bauer 8,500. Nothing. The old Messier concussion cascade bucket, Rob, none of that would ever work because at the end of the day, the way we know, and we've launched a couple tutorial videos of how Trouba directly finds that chin, it's inevitable that you're going to catch at least a little bit of CTE.
Yeah, I mean, somebody's going to be, I got to say, though, it's a good place to get a concussion in Southern California. That's the good news. In my opinion, it would be better to get a concussion from Trouba in Southern California than at Madison Square Garden. Because Madison Square Garden, you get hit directly in the head by Trouba. You walk outside MSG, there's horns, there's taxi drivers, they're FaceTiming 400 guys at once. It's loud. There's apartments are on fire. New York's a little bit hectic, especially in Midtown.
Yep.
So guys are selling pretzels. Their homeless guys are smoking crack. Now in Southern California, if you get a conky down there, you can kind of, maybe go to Newport Beach, lay on the beach, stare out the ocean, kind of recover quicker. So I think it's a great place to get concussions in Southern California. And I think, guys just have to keep their head up because he is going to be pissed. His wife, I think, I'm not going to talk about a guy's wife ever, but in regards to guys get traded, people forget they have families. They have, that's all jokes aside, that's the shitty part about the business, man. Like, I guess his wife was in med school in New York and that sucks.
She's been in med school for like 12 years, but I guess that does check out, right? Because
it's a grind. I mean, I respect the hell out of it. The hell out of it. And like, that's why I want to make it clear that like, I'm being completely serious when I say this. When you get traded across the damn country, it throws a wrench in your whole personal life. So hopefully it works out for them. But yeah, just a tough situation because he's the captain and they kind of forced his hand a little bit. But yeah, man, keep your chin tucked in Southern California. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, as Jackie Moon once said, if she wants to be an astronaut one day, I don't think she can do it. About one of his beautiful ball girls. The only thing I would say lastly on getting a concussion in Midtown, in Manhattan, is you do have the West Garden 3 or 4 blocks away if you do need a full body release. This podcast is brought to you by the West Garden, all rub, all tug. But anyways, Rob, let's go over to, let's stay in New York. And I just wanted to touch on this because I'm looking at scores right now, and I'm looking at my National Hockey League app, and I'm looking at the New York Strangers being down 2-1 right now against the Chicago Blackhawks. And it is the start of the third period. There's about 19 odd minutes left. Now, we've talked about Pete Laviolette. We've talked about Pete swallowing an airbag. We've talked about, maybe him needing to go to the Atkins diet. We're not here to body shame. But speaking of shame, is this guy that's going to feel a little bit of shame in the next couple of days, Rob? Because I could see him hashtagging packing his shit here soon. And just with the coaching carousel, it just seems like he's kind of the next one on the Budweiser hot seat in terms of, they might be looking for a new guy in New York come tomorrow.
For sure, man. I look, I don't body shame either. I've been there before. I've been swelled up and I've been a fat ass. I really have. So I feel like as a former member of the high body fat percentage community, I could say this. If you're going to coach in New York, you got to keep it tight, bro.
Yep.
You're the Rangers. Now, do you want Zibanejad struggling? Do you want him to get off the ice and the first thing he sees is Pete Laviolette, who gained 55 fucking pounds? No, he's not going to respect that. He wants a guy that's going to Equinox. He's hitting the Stairmaster. He's hitting the elliptical. He's keeping it tight. And listen, I don't know why Pete Laviolette gained 40 fucking pounds. I don't know if it's the
What happened,
hot
dude?
dog.
What happened to Pete?
The pizza's good. The pizza's good. They have great bagels. It's in the water. Everybody knows that. It's easy to gain weight in New York. But as the coach of the Rangers, you have to keep it tight. And I don't listen. Whenever I call someone a fat ass, I want to make it clear. I don't know if it's because of a medical issue, if he's going through some personal stuff. I don't know. But what I am saying is that you have to be chiseled as a coach of the New York Rangers. You have to command that respect. You have to whack hot chicks. You have to set an example for your team. And Pete Laviolette, putting on the, inhaling since 16-inch thick crust butter crust pizzas. I don't know if that's the right move.
Like, how many chicken cutlet sandwiches can Pete eat? Again, we're not trying to body shame. Maybe Pete does have different things going on in his life that we don't know about. We are outsiders over here at Hockey Night in Scottsdale that are insiders at the same time. But when you go up to a 52-34 boot cut Dockers slack in the matter of months, it's like, you know what? Sometimes you got to call a spade and just hope that Pete can find the Equinox. He can find even a Planet Litness close to MSG, or maybe out in White Plains, or maybe he can start working out and lay off the donuts. I don't know. Maybe he's just stressed, Rob. Maybe he's just really stressed out of what's going on right now in New York, because right now everyone is on the block. Nobody's safe. Jury's looking to make moves. I don't think this is the last move. I think he's looking to make another big splash, probably right before the New Year is what I'm kind of thinking and hearing right now.
Well, dude, I said this. I wasn't on the panic button for the Rangers until very recently because, well, they do need to hit the panic button. That's their core. They're not performing with their core. Other teams look way better. Other teams from top to bottom are better. I think the only team that's like, yo, what the fuck's going on is Nashville, other than the Rangers. Nashville, I don't know what kind of dope Marchessault and Stamkos are smoking. I don't even want to talk about that. They're just an asshole that didn't play any high level of hockey. But Nashville's a big surprise. The Rangers should not be like this at all. They have their core guys. They have Kreider. They have Zibanejad. They have Shisferda signed. It's time to hit the panic button in New York. And yeah, Pete Laviolette, I've been there. I've stressed ate before. I've been stressed out. And the next thing you know, I'm eating, 2 sandwiches a day back to back. Falcos, I'm getting the Philly cheesesteak and the Italian, extra vinaigrette, extra mortadella, and I'm just inhaling it because I'm stressed out. So I've been there, but yeah, man, it's a scary time for the Strangers because if they have to blow it up, it's going to be another long period before they're back in the Cup final again, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck they do. I mean, they got Adam Fox as their number one. Look, Fox, he's a great player. I just don't think you can win with a number one like that. They have problems up front. They have a lot of the same players in terms of two of their key players in Zibanejad and Panarin. And, it's a shit show up there in New York. But I want to slide over to just with a game we're going to go to tomorrow. We're going to go and watch the Utah Hockey Club. Now, listen, before we get to the beautiful cheerleaders of the Utah Hockey Club, we always kind of chirp at, or we get on the NHL for having these ice dudes. Wait till you see these beautiful cheerleaders of the Utah Hockey Club.
Really?
Rob. Oh, my God. They're unbelievable. But they're playing tomorrow night, Utah, the Minnesota Wild. Now, the Minnesota Wild are surprising right now. Let's see what happens when it becomes playoff time and we get down to the screws and into the dog days of the season. But right now, they are led by Kirill Kaprizov. And this Kaprizov, Rob, right now, 42 points in 26 games. I mean, he's got 17 and 25. Man, I can't wait to see this young Russian play. I've seen him a couple times. I don't think I was able to play against him because I was already out of the league as a bum. Actually, I know I was, but just the Russian. Like, I can't wait to see this kid play. Like, is he a top 5 player in the league? Listen, I don't watch Minnesota at all, but it's hard to argue these numbers. He's got 42 and 26, fella. I mean, he's clicking at a McJesus rate right now.
Yeah, I've ranted about Minnesota's hockey for a long time now, and for some reason, everyone on Twitter thinks I'm anti-Minnesota. I'm not, bro. I want Minnesota to do well. They're exactly what he needed. Exciting player, guy that's not afraid to make mistakes. He's one of those players, Swiss, that you just put him out there and you go do your thing.
Yep.
Like, go do your thing. We're not going to yell at you to get the puck deep. We're not going to yell at you for dangling on the blue line like you're Jake Wallman. By the way, shout out to Jake Wallman, the official hockeyest player in the NHL.
Yep.
Toe dragging on the blue line like he's goddamn bucket. I don't even know who.
Robert Gordon-Orr is who he thinks he is out there. I mean, this guy literally thinks he's Cale Makar. That game we were watching the other night when they were playing Washington, the plays he was making were insane. Now, this is a kid that I play with in the minors, and he does have that swag for better or worse, right? He's got that almost like retard-like confidence. And I say that with all due respect because it's gotten to the point of where Jake Wallman is right now, playing pretty well for the San Jose Sharks. But that one play, and I don't know if the chat or the people listening are going to remember it from last week because there's a lot of hockey games and everyone gets high and drunk these days every night. But that play he made last man back, Rob, where he went stick through body through a guy's triangle to his backhand that literally didn't gain him any sort of ice, but it worked. And then he like whiffed on a backhand shot from 60 odd feet away. It was just the cockiest thing I've ever seen this season so far.
Dude, he was playing like he was in a roller hockey game in an outdoor roller hockey rink in Laguna Beach, California. We literally laughed out loud at Jake Wallman, just a belligerent, like swooping fucking toe drag through a guy, last man back. But getting back to Kaprizov, I'm glad that Minnesota has a guy like him. I hope we can catch a game. I don't want to give away too much, but we're going to be playing pond hockey. We don't know exactly where yet. And miking ourselves up and making a video out of it. That's going to be awesome. But I'm glad they have a guy like him. I definitely think he's like one of those sneaky top guys in the league. There's no doubt about it. Because it's not even like he's playing with electric players. You know how there's those guys that's like, oh, well, he's doing well because of, he's playing with blah, blah, blah. Like, you know how people say that about Gensel and stuff like that?
Yep.
Like, oh, well, Gensel got 40 playing with Crosby. First of all, it's hard to play with Crosby. You got to be good to play with Crosby. But it's good that Minnesota has a guy like him because Minnesota was just boring as hell for so long. So I'm happy they have him. I want the Wild to do well. The fans deserve it. They're kind of in that like, Buffalo territory for me where it's like I feel like they've been not neglected like Buffalo, but let's get Minnesota to go on a deep run here, dude. Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, at least make it past the second round. You know what I mean? Like, they've always been that team that either got roadblocked by St. Louis, whether it was our teams, or Chicago before that. And then it seems lately it's Winnipeg. It's like they do have that $15 million of dead cap space that they can't really get around because they paid Parisi and Suter way too much and gave them the keys to the city, and all of a sudden Suter's up there with the owner. But that's a whole nother story. But they still have that weighing them down in terms of eating it on their cap until it gets off the books next year. So I'll be really intrigued who they sign. I'm hearing a lot of things in terms of Brock Besser maybe ended up in Minnesota. So that's the People's Insider little scoop of the day, folks. Little two-finger scoop. How are you? But it'll be interesting. They're obviously going to have to pay Kaprizov a ton of money. They got a lot of money coming off the books, and some of their good players, their younger pieces, already signed. But, Rob, what are your expectations for rolling into Salt Lake tomorrow, fella? I mean, we drove by the downtown. Listen, it ain't perfect. I think everybody knows that, okay? We're not trying to shit on him. My brother plays for the squad. He likes playing here. He likes Ryan Smith. But we were rolling in. It ain't the wet deck, fella. This ain't Scottsdale. So what are your expectations? Now, if you want a stiff mixed drink, you can only get a single. That is confirmed. That's on the 5th level. So you got to ride the escalator all the way up and then come all the way down because you can only drink it in that designated area. But I will tell you, Bob, the atmosphere on opening night was juicy. So I'm interested to see now that that initial honeymoon phase has kind of worn off a little bit. They struggled a little bit. They're heating up again. I'm interested to see because Minnesota's coming to town and, it should be a Central Division showdown by all accounts.
So you're telling me I can't get a double rum and coke?
Single fella, and you have to drink it in the designated area inside the ropes, like it's the PGA Tour inside the ropes. Yep.
They have a trapezoid for boozing?
Yep, they do. They do have. You're in the octagon, fella. You're in the octagon.
Dude, I don't know. I'm gonna try to get a double. Like, I'm wearing my pea coat to the game, I think, and like it takes me from looking like a 3 out of 10 to a 4.5, 5 out of 10. So whether it's a dude or a chick, I'm going to go full Mark Messier and just try to flirt with the bartender and try to get a double. And I just want to test the waters. I just want to see, everyone's like, hey, it's hard to booze in Utah. It's hard to do this and that, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go behind enemy line and I'm going to try to get a double. I'm going to try to get them to break to break the mold up here. But yeah, I'm happy for the team that they have an owner that wants the best for them and they're treating them like the pros that they are. And I'm excited to see the crowd. They're passionate. There's nothing really else to do up here besides, smoke dope and board. So, and butt tuck. So I'm excited to see the audience, the crowd rather, and see how they react to anything, goals, hits, fights, whatever the fuck.
If you see Spicy Tuna tomorrow, like, fuck me. Play
I
this
know,
guy.
man.
Like,
Put
come
the
on.
guy in. Jesus Christ,
Let's
man.
get Tuna in the lineup. How many games he played this year? 3? Like, that's bullshit. He wants to fight. He's hitting the heavy bag at home. He's shadow boxing the mirror naked, fully torqued. Like, Tuna is ready. You imagine how many bench press reps Tuna has done at this point? Because that guy's an absolute workhorse off the sheet, as we know, one of the hardest working guys in all of hockey. Like, he's got to be just chomping at the bit, man. Get Tuna in the fucking lineup.
Bro, we saw him at Mullet multiple times when we went, flying around, hitting, producing, doing all the right things. I think we were at that game. I think they were playing the Oilers, right? He had one and one.
Yep.
And I think he had 1-1. But yeah, that energy player is real, man. Like, look at not to relate to football, but the other night, Scattaboo for ASU, that the running back, he was just trucking over dudes, and guys on the sidelines were just like, yo, like, we're nasty. Like, we're in the college football playoffs. Like, Scatterpoop is running all over the other team. We're fired up. Same thing with Tuna. Like, let that guy get in on the forecheck. Fucking make the board shake. Make that glass go. I love when guys make big hits and the glass goes like going, and it really just gets you going. Speaking of fully torqued, it gets me fully torqued. Like, I actually might get a boner seeing a good hit on a forecheck. But yeah, man, I'm excited to see the barn. I'm excited to see the game. And yeah, I'm excited to try to flirt with the bartender, try to get them to pour me a double. I'm a little bit creeped out by all the, the super religious shit up there. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of diddling kids, but I'm excited to go to the game.
Yeah, I actually want to get a picture for Hockey Night in Scottsdale's case. Now, I don't want to force shout out to the USHL, but I don't want to force this issue because I don't want to come off as creepy or just weird. But I do want to get a Hockey Night in Scottsdale picture with all the beautiful cheerleaders of the Utah Hockey Club, because that would be hilarious. Imagine us just posted up with the chicks right in there. Maybe we can get a little TO, a little pom-pom shake. Maybe we can get on the Jumbotron. So I don't know. I would love to do that. I can't wait to get in the arena. It does have a good vibe. It's a little bit janky in terms of just because they have to, kind of makeshift or clean up some of the seats that are built for basketball because it's so steep, Rob. And they're fixing that over the next year. But right now, I think it's like 11,000 non-obstructed. So I anticipate probably that being the number tomorrow night. I think it holds, 14 or 15. But those 3,000 or 4,000 seats, you're not able to see the whole entire ice because the scoreboard kind of hits, where the ice should be, because obviously the basketball court is smaller. So I'm fired up, man. I can't wait to get in there. We can't watch any Utah Hockey Club games because of Gary's NHL and the blackout. So I literally haven't been able to watch any Utah games this year. It sucks. But I'm not the guy that's going to hack some Chinese website and get a bunch of, scams and, have to get a VPN and get around this Indonesian guy's, thing. And the next thing you know, I got to get a new credit card and they have my social security number. And I just somehow woke up and I'm missing an organ. I'm just not going to do that for the Utah Hockey Club. But in saying that, fella, I can't wait to see the Utah Hockey Club. And one last thing on that, I want to make sure you see it, especially maybe we'll see it on Wednesday morning before we leave, is how high all the hippies and bums are downtown Utah and downtown Salt Lake. It's crazy. Like, it's a really good – it rivals Edmonton, by the way, for that.
Are we talking about crack or are we talking about weed?
We're talking about crack and weed. Yeah, it's a mix. Yeah, it's a hybrid mixture. Yeah, they're eco-friendly. They smoke it out of like a Mountain Dew can as well. So they'll do anything here.
Yeah, shout out to Hard Mountain Dew. Yeah, that's crazy because Edmonton, if there was like a crackhead Olympics, Edmonton's crackheads, they are really good at being crackheads. They even got clean pipes. I saw a guy literally polishing his pipe with a microfiber washcloth. They take it really seriously. But dude, getting back to the ice girls, I cannot believe that Utah has hot ice girls. It's crazy. And Nashville is all ice dudes. I think it's weird. It's weird how the ice dudes thing came about. Like, the NHL did get a little woke, but like, especially in Nashville, like, dude, come on. But yeah, I'm excited to see the ice girls. I usually don't get horned up about that stuff because I don't like to be mainstream and be like, there's always those 55-year-old guys in the crowd that are just zooming in on the ice girl's ass on their Android and like, they're gonna crank their rents to it later. I'm not gonna get like that, but being that we're in Utah, it does pique my interest that there's hot ice girls.
Yeah, and I don't know if they get on the ice, but they're like the cheerleaders. You know what I mean? So they go section to section.
Oh, they're not on the ice.
Yeah, I can't confirm that because I was pretty drunk, but they are like coming section to section. No Diddy on that coming, but yeah, they're coming on in and around the concourse. They're buzzing around. They're always on the Jumbotron. I'm not sure if they can skate, but they definitely can fill out a nice spandex. So It's good.
Okay, so it's like they have that in Vegas, by the way. I was just at
Yeah.
T-Mobile Arena, Vegas. Shout out to Aiden Hill, by the way, NHL, one of the stars of the week. He had a hell of a game. Shout out to this is random, but shout out to Wyatt Johnson on Dallas. That motherfucker can play.
Yeah.
That dude really stood out to me. Him, even Sam Steele for his role played well. Not to go on a Dallas tangent, but Rupe Hintz, those guys, I don't watch a lot of Dallas, but Wyatt Johnson really stood out to me, dude. That guy was buzzing. But yeah, Vegas has those cheerleaders that go up and down in the stands.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like you really got to bring shade so you could check him out without being creepy. But
how did Stankoven look in Dallas? Was he?
He looked all right.
He's a little water bug.
Yeah, he's got massive shoulder pads. I mean, he's going full Tyler Ennis from like 2021. Like, remember Enzo had those shoulder pads that were like, he looked like OJ Simpson out there.
Yeah,
like,
he stole those from Brian Urlacher.
Yeah, he looked like Van Der Esch on Dallas, but I think he unfortunately had to retire because of a neck injury. But Stankoven, however you say it, the Stank Daddy, he's got some big shoulders. He looked good out there, dude. Dallas is just a solid team, top to bottom. They looked really good. You don't really see them deliver pizzas too often to the other team. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They play a little bit more conservative. Ottinger was unbelievable. Ottinger, like Vegas didn't play great. They had some good chances. Ottinger looked good. I think Dallas is a real contender, man. Like, especially when Robertson's not really firing at the clip he usually does too, and they still look that good. Yeah, man, they look good. I was impressed.
Yeah, I mean, Robertson, you got Heiskanen, Stankoven, Wyatt Johnson's a player, Jamie Benn when you need left and a right. Sagan, obviously, the guy you hate, down for the season, so he's going to miss some time. But they do have Matt Duchene. They do have his sixth string. He will be bringing on the road. He does love to sing Wonderwall on the team bird right next to the card table. Pete DeBoer, obviously a great tactical coach, and they do have a general manager that is looking to add at all times, whether it's at the deadline, mid-season. Jim Neal, one of the best managers in all of hockey. So yeah, that team was Mehdi Dumba playing that night, or
he
was okay. So
yeah, he was out there.
Good.
Yeah, he's a nice guy, Matt Dumba. Duchene's growing on me, man. I always poke fun at him because like he has to have him signed and his guitar signed to one ways before he joins the team. But he's growing on me. Just a guy that's been around the league, like been a veteran around the league. It's so hard to stay in the league. When guys stay in the league a long time and just they're out there as a 32, 33-year-old still doing the damn thing. Like, fuck, man. I have the utmost respect for that. And I just wanted to point that out because I do poke fun at him a little bit for his guitar, and I think it's cool. I think it's cool that he has a hobby like that and he's actually good at it. So, fuck, man, I might be a Dallas fan by the end of this podcast, but no, they look good.
Shit. We got to get to Dallas. We got to go see our girl Shay at Moxie's. So if you're listening, baby, talk about a set of fun bags. Rob, should we open it up to the chat here, baby? Before we get on a
There's nothing like talking about a chick that her rack live on the podcast.
Shout out to her rack.
Yep, shout out to Shay and her gigantic set. We're going to open up the chat here for the next 5 minutes or so. Questions, comments, concerns, throw them up on the chat. Chat was great tonight. I see it buzzing. Yeah. Usually I kind of keep the chat off to the side so I don't get distracted, but tonight I've been looking at it. I'm kind of talking a little bit quieter because the walls are thin, but fuck it, we'll do it live. Let's
lot of good energy in the chat, by the way, tonight.
A lot of good energy tonight. Yep. And guys, this episode will always be on Spotify and Apple right after we're done. And you can rewatch it on YouTube if you don't catch it live. We appreciate all the people that subscribe. If you're not subscribed, there's a stat. Half the people that tune in are not subscribed. So if we get, 1,400 views on a YouTube video, 700 people aren't subscribed. Please subscribe. It helps us out a lot. Nobody's backing our chins. We're backed by ourselves. So those subscriptions mean a lot. Yager, I don't know if he's in gambling debt. I don't know why he's still playing. If he just, tying your skates for 50 fucking years. Shout out to Jaromir Jagr, still doing the damn thing. I don't know if he's playing for the love of the game. I don't know, like I said, if it's because he's in debt. But wow.
Well, he has to
years old.
He has to play because he has to keep that team afloat. Now, no one would go watch that Kladno team play unless Jaromir Jagr was on the team. So his buddy Thomas Turtleneck Plekanec actually did him a favor when he retired from the National League, Rob, and played there for like 5 years. And he played into his 40s. And Jagr literally has to play on that team just to keep it afloat because he is the owner. Now, I know guys that have played on that team and still play on that team. And it's not like he's showing up on the team bus on the bone rattler. He kind of picks his schedule, similar to Roger Clemens when he was on the back half playing for the Yankees. Like, I'll just fly in from Houston for my starts. Like, Jagr is on that showtime kind of thing. And, whether it's autograph signings, putting people in the stands, he ultimately has to play. And it's kind of sad because that is the only way that team will stay afloat. And it was like his dad's baby. So,
Oh, I did not know that.
yep.
This is coming in from Astro Newt. How's the hotel? National League? Question mark.
It's American League, like we're grinding right now, boys. You know what I mean? It's not national yet. We're not at the St. Regis, right? We'll get there, hopefully. But yeah, for a couple of guys grinding back by our own chin, it is what it is,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah, we're grinding it out, man. I mean, people don't understand. Like, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they kind of don't. And this isn't a sob story. This is the best part. This is the best part about grinding through this shit like this. They
Yep.
kind of they're like, how you guys are just filming videos. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. You got to book travel. You got to book an editor. You got to book a camera guy. You got to spend all the time it takes to edit the videos. But it's all fun. We love having a good product for all you guys to see. I personally think our YouTube videos are kind of underrated. I think they're only going to get better. But yeah, baby, we're just grinding it out. Not a national hotel yet, but we'll see. And also, I just got to pull this up. By the way, fellas, the Tinder game in Park City is sneaky good with those Latina chicks from Argentina. That come to work the ski resort. Holy shit. I'm not an app guy, but goddamn, I might be downloaded something tonight.
Portuguese, Lebanese, will you go on your knees? Ooh, ah.
This guy just said at the live show in Chicago, I'm getting a Jay Swish. I'm getting Jay Swish at Jeremy Chin jersey. Wow,
that would be
really
so sick, dude. I would pay for it, and I want the Commanders one, number 11. I was actually on their site last night because Bo Bennett told me I needed a Jeremy Chin jersey too. So you're not the first, and I need that, fella. So that would be so sick. 2XL if you're buying it, baby. I got broad shoulders. I'll pay for it too.
Yeah,
I'll bring you some butter golf. I'll bring some butter golf as well.
Who's the next player dealt from the Rags? We talked a little bit of Rangers tonight. I think 93 needs some new scenery. I'm just going to say this. I agree with that. I do.
Yeah, we've talked about it before, and shout out to the boys at High Sticking. Rob, that's the podcast I was talking about. I went on last week, and they just rip bongs, hang out, crush beers. Two beauties, both from New Jersey. One is living in Carolina now. So those guys were awesome. They were just high as hell. Like, I forget the guy's name. I think his name was Jobs. No relation to Steve Jobs, but his name was Jobs Beauty. And I think he might have smoked an ounce in his bong. So great dudes.
That's nails. I saw the weed plant on that puck there. When will you beauties be back in Forks? Probably next year.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a one and done city for us just because it's kind of out of the way. We got to take a bird out of a different airport. Definitely once a year thing though. No doubt about it. So probably next year.
Yep.
How's the back, Rob? It's good. I'm all healed up actually just in time for this video tomorrow. Dude, if you guys leave enough comments on this video when it posts right when we're done, I will hit the terrain park for you. I don't want to because I don't want to get hurt and I don't have health insurance. But if you leave comments peer pressuring me to hit the terrain park at the mountain, I just might. Who's your sleeper team to win the cup this year?
I mean, I don't think they can do it because you just get so depressed and the dog days hit you different. But Winnipeg, I love their team. I just think when you finally see that sun in April, it's like all you think about is the beach. All you think about is Cancun. All you think about is Cabo. All you think about is Turks and Caicos. You think about the European trip you're going to do. And you get through that winter of just getting through of 4 inches of thick ice on your windshield, scraping it off with a credit card you don't use. Man, it just hits you different. And you finally get a little sense of like, oh my God, I could get out of here like Andy Dufresne in Shawshank. And it ultimately kind of backfires on you. So that would be my one sleeper. But I just think with weather alone, it sucks because I do love the good people of Winnipeg, Rob. I just think it's physically impossible to win there.
Yeah. Sleeper, I'm gonna just go with Dallas. I don't know if that counts as a sleeper, but after seeing them play in person, I'm like, fuck, man, this team top to bottom is sick. Where's the best place to take a girl out in Scottsdale? Maybe get a little silly. That's coming in from Hunter. Dude, we're gonna put out a clip soon where we go over this. I'm gonna say this. Now it's a little pricey, but you just gotta throw it on the credit card and just battle it out. Stick your boots in the mud. Jade Bar at the Sanctuary. Now the Sanctuary is a hotel on Camelback Mountain. The Jade Bar has a great view. Like chicks love it. I'm not the Rizzler over here, but it's a nice little spot to go. The staff is great. It's a little bit quieter, so you're not going to be in an environment where like you can really get bumped into the music. But to start out at the Jade Bar at the Sanctuary Hotel, it's a good place to get a couple drinks, enjoy the view, and then kind of veer off from there once you get a little tipsy. So that's my answer to that. I don't know if Swish, you want to have some input on that.
Great spot to go. Obviously, especially if it's the first date or you're not wanting to see maybe something or run into something, generally you're going to be safe. You're not going to see anyone. If you're a local and you're doing your Tinder dates, whatever you're doing, it's a good spot to just play a neutral sighting game and go have a drink, get a good look at different things. Obviously, we mentioned Global Ambassador on here a lot. Now, this is going into the Lions Den in terms of you're probably going to see everyone you know in Scottsdale. But if you're an out-of-town shooter, that doesn't matter. So I would say those spots are great. Another spot I would say is kind of sneaky. It's not as lively, but during the day, you get a spot over at Mountain Shadows. It's a great look too. You kind of sit there at the pool, and you don't have to be a guest. You can sit there just off the pool, and they have a nice little resort area, good drinks. So yeah, those are a couple different spots, boys.
Yeah, try Elefante too. I haven't been there yet, but all right. What strain weed were you smoking on my story? Yeah, dude, I was pretty cooked last night going for a walk. I don't know. I will say this though. One of my family members bought weed, and I'll smoke at night to help me sleep a little bit or something like that. But the strain was like probably 10% higher than what I usually do. So yeah, I was pretty zooted. Need Gucci on the show for high sticking. Yeah, let me know. Just shoot me a DM. We'll make it happen. And yeah, I'll spark something and shoot the shit with you guys. At Hunter again, Dominic's is a good one. These are all really pricey, but like fuck dude. Like I haven't had a paycheck since fucking July. I'm kind of just sucking it up and dealing with it. But hey, you got to pay to play sometimes, baby.
Yeah, you do.
JM, same question here. Well, we're gonna put a clip out where we talk about this. How's Mill these days? I don't really know, but I did hear that when I was at Arizona State and I was on Mill, you did have places that were a little bit more expensive, but you always had the cheaper options. Apparently now, like they used to have these buckets at Casa. That was my spot. And they were like, I don't know, they were like $8 for a gigantic cup of booze. Now they're like fucking $18. No shock there. Thanks, Biden. I really don't know, Astro Newt. I haven't been there.
We're 32, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so we'll take one more. Who are your Stanley Cup favorites in both conferences at this point? We'll take a hockey question to wrap this up.
Yeah, I'm going to go with, it's tough to argue this. I'm going to go with the Florida Panthers out of the East. I just think they have just the criminal. They got the skill. Matty Tkachuk firing all cylinders. They got the goalie. They got the coach. They got the balls. So I'm going to go them. Out of the East and out of the West, it's kind of anyone's game. I don't know if it's going to be a rematch of last year with the Edmonton Oilers, but I'm going to go the Vegas Golden Knights. As well as Aiden Hill is playing, and you got to think he gets better over time like he always does as the stakes get higher. I'm going to go Vegas. I'm going to go Florida, and you know what? We'll see what happens there.
I'm going to go Vegas, and I'm going to hate myself for saying this. I'm going to say a sneaky one is the Capitals. If Logan Thompson basically demanded a trade, and he's backing up he's putting his money where his mouth is. He stays this hot, man. Fuck, dude. I think Capitals can actually do the fucking thing. I'm trying to think like who's good. Can the Capitals get past Florida? I don't know. Florida's nasty, but yeah, man. I guess we'll take one more since they're fine in here. When are you fellas mixing it up in Minnesota? Real quickly, I think we're gonna do a pond hockey video there. Not sure. Might be on the western part of Canada, but we're definitely gonna make our way out there soon for sure. I mean, that's one of the spots we were gonna hit over the summer. Our schedule didn't permit it. But yeah, we're going to try to play some pond hockey out there for a YouTube video. Do you think Tage Thompson getting snubbed for USA has anything to do with him coming from that Buffalo culture? In all seriousness, man, I know he's scoring at a high clip 5-on-5, but it's hard to replace the four centers they got, dude. Matthews, Hughes, Jack Eichel, Dylan Larkin. How do you sit one of those guys, dude? It's just a tough spot.
And Trocheck can play fourth line center if needed. You know what I mean? It's like
JT Miller can play center.
Yeah, it's just they have a lot of center ace. But if Tage Thompson, arguably, he's got to play on a third line because he's not going to play top six. He's not going to play fourth line. Now, listen, I do think you could advocate or argue he should be that 13th forward and play on the Ovechkin one-timer side in terms of on the power play, that left flank, because he does have that booming one-timer. But at the same time, they have so many utility players, and yeah, you can't pick them all, right? There's good players left off that. There's Keller, Caulfield, Thompson. I mean, you can make almost a whole entire roster of USA guys that got snubbed or, that are really quality players, because that is how good USA hockey is right now. So you never know, though, Rob. Injuries happen. They named this team fucking 3 months out. So who knows? Who knows? Yeah. Maybe Tage Thompson slides in, barring an injury. Never wanted to see anyone get hurt. But that is the game, and we will just find out.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Chat was absolutely buzzing tonight. I think we're a little bit on the conservative side. I didn't get to yell or say anything too crazy because the hotel we're at. But yeah, man, we will have this ski video out soon. Our Halloween videos out, guys. If you're hanging out tonight and you need something to watch, I know sometimes I always catch myself in a spot where I'm like, "Fuck, dude, I'm not really a big TV show guy. I like YouTube podcasts, shit like that." Go binge watch our damn videos. Go binge watch them. It's hours worth of content. And Chicago tickets are out now. And yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. We appreciate it. And merch will be out soon. I think next week. Fingers crossed. Oh no. I think
hopefully this week. Yeah, hopefully this week.
Yeah.
We love you out there. We are in Park City. We're gonna go get something to eat. We're gonna see what's going on a Monday night. We're on the hill tomorrow. We'll see you back Wednesday, probably, and Thursday. So low and slow out there, folks. We love you. Hockey Night Scottsdale, baby. Woo!
Adios. Peace.